Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm going to share how to make these beginner basic bunnies. Okay, there you go. You just want to have a look at that as an overall thing, and there's this little pom-pom for a tail. For this pattern, so we've got different faces as well for them. So for this pattern we're going to need a 4mm crochet hook, which is a G6 if you're in the US. You're going to need, got these, look, we've got the little, can we see that properly? Little eyes. You can use different colours if you want to do those sorts of eyes. These are the backs. I've got a little pink nose to be able to put on there, and so there are all the little backing bits there. You're going to need some scissors, and you're going to need a darning needle and some stuffing and whichever yarn that you want to use that goes with your crochet hook. Okay, so I have also made some little bags. I will share those. So we've got what we've got these, look, we've got like a little tote bag that you can make, and we've got these crossover bags, and then this one is more like a little shopping bag with a little bow on the front. Okay, I'll put the patterns in the description box below for those people that don't want to sit and watch all of the video, because apparently, according to the algorithms that you read about, the human population is getting they need everything so quick. It's like you can't do anything slow these days, but unfortunately this one's going to be a slow one. Okay, so we're going to begin with a chain of 13, which some may say is unlucky for some, but we need a chain of 12 and a chain of 1 to turn. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. And even though that people say that 13 may be unlucky, in the majority of the UK houses, you've actually got 13 stairs to go upstairs. So I don't really believe that 13 can be that unlucky. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the single crochet if you're in the US, or it's a double crochet if you're in the UK. So you want to put your hook straight into the underneath one loop of your chain, put it in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on the hook. Okay, sorry, there we go. As you can see that, and we're going to do that in each of the chains. So you can see you've got that loop there, and then you're going to go into the next one. You're going to go all the way to the end of your chain, and that is the stitch you're going to use in the entirety of this pattern. So when you get to the end of the chain, if you've done enough chains in the beginning, you'll have 12 of these stitches. So I'm just going to get to the end of the row, and I wanted to tell you as well, while I was thinking, oh, I could do with a story for my video. So I had a look about why is the Easter bunny responsible for delivering eggs at Easter, because as we know, a bunny doesn't lay eggs. They have little babies. So that's the end of your first row. It'll look like that. Okay, you can see that. Then what you're going to do is just turn. We're not going to do a chain at the end of each row, and you're just going to go underneath the first 2 loops which are there, and just keep on doing the same stitch repetitively backwards and forwards. At the end of each of the rows, it's always tipped over. Okay, but that's all you're going to actually need to do to be able to do this one. So it's really, really easy. Okay, but yes, the story about the Easter bunny, so there's different ones, but one I really loved that I was reading on a museum's site was that it is said that they may have believed, in the UK this is, because way back before Christianity was there was pagans in the UK. And it wasn't really a religion as such, even though that, yes, they did have some gods and things like that. But they do believe that in the UK at that time, there was only hares. There wasn't any rabbits in the UK. And a hare makes what is called a form on the ground, which basically looks like a little nest. And so they think because it made a nest that it laid eggs. Personally, I kind of don't believe that, because for how long humans have been around for, I think it was more likely that someone was playing a trick on somebody and they put some eggs in the hare's nest and then said that the hare had laid eggs. But who knows the truth about that, really? Obviously none of us was round about there at that time. But then over the years, I think it was in 1066 when there was the Battle of Hastings and William Conqueror took us over. Rabbits was introduced into the UK, and so we got the little bunnies, and rabbits and hares all have their new babies in the spring, as the chickens, they also start to lay their eggs again in the springtime. So I just think that it's just combinations of nature and then just basically people trying to sell stuff, because in the Victorian times you'd got a cardboard egg that was, and they used to just put little treasures inside it, and there was beautifully painted little cardboard eggs. And then it was Fry's, who is a chocolate company in the UK, that perfected the moulding technique and made the very first chocolate egg. And so now we end up with all of these wonderful different things. And like now I've got these little after eight ones because I love after eights. They're actually a really nice little egg, they are. Yes, I've already eaten some, I'm sorry, I should have waited till Easter, but you know, when these things are there for you to try, you've got to try. Okay, so we can see I've done a few rows now. So on the front of this, if you was looking at them, this looks like that there's 5 rows. So of the way that the stitches are gone, and you've got this line, so that's 2 rows of the stitches, that's another 2, and this is the very first chain that you crocheted into. But if you turn it over this way around, it's easier to see, and you can see, so this one's 2, this one's 4, and this one makes the 5. So on the reverse side of it, what you want to do is keep on crocheting until you get a piece that looks like this. So as you can see, I'm starting from the bottom, and you'll see that, so where these lines are here, that's 2 rows, and you want a total of 36 rows when you look at it that way round, because that's the other side. Look, you can see the difference at the bottom, just so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so once you've actually got to that point there, what you're going to do is you're going to start making the ears of the actual rabbit, or technically it could be the legs, because they're both exactly the same measurement. And I'm doing this in a lovely pink, so you can see, oops, okay, maybe not, because I've got myself tangled up. Oh dear. I'm using a lovely pink just to show you if you wanted to actually also change your colour. So at this point, this is the end of the row, so I would turn to be able to start my next row, and I'm just going to literally put my hook into the stitch and pick up my new yarn there, and then I've got one colour of each over the top and just pull my stitch through. And then these, when you pull them tight there, yes, you will have that little bit of a white stitch at the very end there, but that's excuse me, it's only for that row. So that's going to be, so you can see that that's one stitch, so it's got a white bit on the top, and that one's got the pink there. If you wanted them to both have the pink on the top, you need to change your yarn colour at the end of the last stitch, but we're keeping it easy. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that's all you're going to do for the ears. Then you're going to turn, and so you're just going to go backwards and forwards. For the ears and the legs, they're both 12 rows long. Just show you how this one looks at the very end when you actually work into that white one, or whatever colour you'd use, but oops, underneath the 2 strands, yarn over, and we've got, yes, it does cause a little tiny bit of a white bit there, but honestly, we're keeping things really basic. We're not being overly fussy about whether we've got a little bit of something showing somewhere or not. Okay, so this is it. So you're just literally going to go backwards and forwards, and remember the very last stitch is always tucked over a little bit, so just get into there. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. So you're going to do that for the ears. I'm just going to move this out of the way for a moment. So what would happen is you'd end up with a piece that looks like that. So you've just got the one coming out of the top there. Don't really want to break that yarn now. Let's see. We're going to, I'll undo it just so that we've got this for the next stage. So we've got the matching ear, just so, oh, I've got some of the stuffing stuck. Oh dear. Right, okay, so to add the next bit on, you're going to twist your yarn onto your hook, and then you're going to, so this is your last stitch you've worked in, so then you're going to go 1, 2, so you're going to skip those because you actually want to have 5 more stitches, so, and we're going to miss those ones. But remember, we've got this tucked over one at the bottom, so it could be easier to count backwards. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to make sure you're in the right place. And then you're going to latch that on like that, and then just do what you did for the other one. Just go backwards and forwards until you've got 12 rows of the same colour or different colour if you wanted to, just so that you've got them. Okay, and then so I move that one, so you keep on going so that you've actually you've got the 2 at the top, and then we've come to the bottom. I just wanted to share with you on the bottom where I showed you when you look at it this way round and you've got that difference of the stitch. To make it really, really easy, what I did is I just, rather than going into the actual chain, I counted the, so I've gone into this row here, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to go there. So you're going to work over all of that, just so that it's really, really nice and easy, so you know exactly where your holes are. Yep, so it just makes it really, really as easy as possible. Okay, and that's how you do that one. So you're going to do it so you've got the end. So when you've got the next stage, it will look, whoops a daisy, it'll look like this. So it's exactly the same whether it's the right way round or the wrong way round. It doesn't, you know, you can't, at this point you're going to find it hard to tell the difference. The only way you can really tell the difference is looking at here where you've got that one row on that side, because on the other side this should look the same. Okay, so on this one, so what you're going to do at this point is you're going to, let's just get this yarn again, got it all tangled up. Where's the end? There it is. So to be able to do the arms, you're going to remember using these lines. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So try to keep the 12, you know, that just so it's easy to remember. Okay, so I've got my yarn on my hook, so we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to go into there, and you're just going to work over these end stitches. That's one row, and then into the next one, there, and then into the next one of those rows like that, and then into the end of that one there. And so you're going to work that backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Once you've actually got to that point, I haven't got one that's already made. So you're going to do, so what you're going to do is once you've, so there's only 4 stitches this way around, but you still need to do the 12. Then you'll turn your work around like that to make sure, and you can see what you'll do is you'll start your next row, because you're going to work this way as you work your work. You need to be into the middle one, not into one of these lines, to start the arms. Okay, so that's how you do all of that, and then you'll end up, oops a daisy, with 2 pieces theoretically. I know I've left all of the tail ends, and I've left them on for a really good reason. So you'll have 2 pieces that are exactly the same. Okay, and you want to make sure that you are putting them the same way around when you actually do them, because if you do it so that you've got it like that, you're going to end up with the arms not matching. Oops, sorry, it's off the camera. Yep, so you want to make sure that you've got them both the same way around so that the arms are going to match up. So there's, yeah, and you'll start, so what you're going to do is you're going to start actually using the tail ends, and then you'll actually sew down the arms first. Okay, and you're going to, so if you've got it, this is going to be like the bunny, you're going to start with this side of the arms and start working around that way and going down as you sew, and then it's easier to stuff it as you're going along, so you can sew that bit together around there and stuff the arm, and then you'd come all the way down, do these legs, get to about here, and then stuff the body and then work your way back up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how I do the stitches. So where's my needle gone? I've lost it. There we go. Okay, so just get this one here. I know I'm going to kind of go back to front with what I'm doing. So when you're actually doing this stitching of stitching these bits together, actually probably better off to get that tail end. Let's get this one. This needle feels so small. There we go. So as you put them together, you'll see that all of your, as long as you've put them the right way round, all of your stitches will match. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a stitch where you're going to come like this, and then you're going to go into the work that way round, and then you're going to come, so it's coming over and then into this section here. And make sure these stitches are really nice and neat and tight. You can pull it nice and tight, because when you stuff it, if you haven't done them tight enough, you will get some little gaps. You just do it like that. Yep, all the way around. And then what's going to happen, because I've got one that I've already I've sewn it the majority of the way around realistically without stuffing it on the way. So I'm going to move that and show you. Whoops, got one of the eyes wandering off there. So this is, I've sewn all the tail ends in, so you can see that if you just sewed it together, you would end up with just a flat bunny. So you've got a flat mate. Sorry. I've made the pom-pom for the tail. Okay, and all I've got is this little gap here. So if you actually did sew it all the way around and you tucked everything in, you would still be able to actually get in and let me just put that needle back, I'm poking myself. So you can get in, you can poke all of these bits, and then at the very last stages of things, that's where we could then add in the eyes and the nose. I've lost one of the blue eyes. I was going to use blue eyes for this one, so we're going to have to use these plain black ones. So when you're going to put the nose on, so we've got the actual where the arms are here. I just literally went up a couple of rows. It's like, okay, then the nose, and it has to go, because of the way the stitches are, you're actually going to go like into the actual stitch there and put that through, and then you get your little caps to put on the back and make sure it's clicked into place. Yep, and then you've got your little nose into place there, and then you'd put your eyes in. So it depends on how you want your bunny to look. So you can actually have your eyes really far apart, you can have them high up high up. So I'm just going to go up 2 rows and put them there first and think, okay, I think that they look nice in those positions for those there, and then whoops, and then put the little backs on. You do have to be careful when you stuff in the actual little rabbits when you've actually put these things on, because I know there's safety eyes, but sometimes the actual points will stick to the actual back of their thing. And also if you've got really thin skin, or if you're on like blood thinners or anything, just be careful that they don't scratch your skin. Okay, so that's how it would look there. And then what you would do is obviously the tail goes onto the back of the bunny, and then what you can do, I haven't got any more purple with me, I want to make sure that this one's actually got the purple mouth, because I want it to match. So you just use your leftover stitching and decide on which kind of face that you want to put on it. So this one I've just done the zigzag for there, and on these ones I did like the little V stitch with the line in the middle of them there. Okay, so there you go, that's how you actually make your little bunny. And then obviously once you finish, you're just going to sew up these last bits by leaving all of the tail ends that you're doing. If you do it this way round, you can use all of the tail ends, but you do need some extra white pieces to sew these top 2 pieces together there. Or you can get your tail end and just weave it in to sew them there. If you do them all in one colour, it doesn't matter, you're not going to see the difference of your yarn just there. Also, when you stuff them, make sure that you don't stuff them all the way to the end of the ear, because you want the ears to be able to flop over so that you can make them have the little funny faces, and the same with the arms, so just so that you've got some manoeuvrability. This one I think is my better one that I've done out of these ones. Oh, it's got it there, where we, because what you can do as well is you could pin them down. It looks like a little puppy like that. Okay, so there you go. Thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing. Just how to make some little Easter bunnies. Oh, nearly forgot to tell you. So the bags, all you do is you just do like just do a shorter version of the body, fold it over. This one is one of my bad examples where when you fold it over it goes wonky, but you can just get the iron on it and flatten it down just so that they sit nicely. And you just literally just make these, fold them over, make a little flower, so you've got like your little tote bags, and they're really cute just to go with them. Okay, so thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, and thank you for subscribing. For all of those that you have, for everyone that keeps coming back, thank you so much. And I don't think I've got anything else to say, so happy Easter for those that celebrate. For those that don't, I hope you enjoy just making these basic bunnies. Bye for now.